Ricken Financial presents Kickin with the Rickens, redefining retirement. Gerry, Ricken, and Heidi Ricken Provost want to help you reach the retirement you deserve. Let's build a strategy that gives you the confidence while meeting your financial wants and needs. Meet the team at rickenfinancial.com. Now, Kickin with the Rickens.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for listening to Kickin with the Rickens podcast. We are here with retirement planner Heidi Ricken Provost and licensed insurance professional Gerry Ricken. My name is Mark Owens. We invite you to get more at rickenfinancial.com. You can get all the information here in the show notes. Thanks again for subscribing. Now, let's get to the show. We're going to have a great talk about risk, defining your risk. Are you aware of your risk? Before we get to all that, Heidi, Gerry, how we doing?
Pretty good.
Fabulous.
I took a little more risk than I thought I would be taking because if you ever go to watch a softball game in Forest Park, there's no shade. I bought a new face sunscreen and it's not working out well for me. So
still a little burned.
Yeah.
She's just glimmering.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, I will tell you, it's a really good time in the summertime and in the late spring. Most Sunday mornings to afternoons, you can come catch my husband and a bunch of his friends playing softball. And, you know, it's a great little community to be a part of. So I go and cheer him on and, you know, bring snacks for the team and that kind of stuff. I'm like the soccer mom, but for softball.
Here's some Capri Sun and some orange slices. And
That's right.
No, the grown adults really want the Uncrustables.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
High noons and Uncrustables. Let's be honest here.
How did you know?
That's right.
Gerry, weekend been going well. You ventured out and went to...
You know what, Mark? You live in the Peach State,
That's right.
the state of Georgia,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Georgia.
Born and raised.
Yes.
Georgia.
And what I did is I picked peaches in Illinois at Eckert's, and Eckert's is just a wonderful place to go. It's a lot. It's a lot of fun, and I took some risks too because I'd been into a peach and there was maybe a hole in it. I didn't find a half worm, didn't even find a whole worm, but I found out the other side of the peach had a worm in it. So I did take a little bit of risk. We had a great time. The weather's beautiful right now, which is really unusual for this time of year.
Yeah.
Hey, did you hit the cider shed?
We did not hit the cider shed this time. We actually went over to Waterloo to the Stubborn German and had a couple of little barley pops over there.
All right. Educate me.
Before you headed home.
The cider shed, the Stubborn German. What are we at here? What is going on? What are these spots?
Eckert's used to be just like a family-friendly, you know, dry place to go pick pumpkins and peaches and apples and stuff. So now they have a cider shed with live music, and they make their own hard cider and stuff on site. So
And
that's
it's awesome.
a lot of fun.
Sit there, take it all in, do some people watching, enjoy some cider.
Nice. So it used
Listen to nice music.
But Dad, what's Stubborn German? Because that's not at Eckert's; it's in Waterloo.
No, that's in Waterloo, Illinois. And Waterloo is this beautiful little community. Has a square in the center of town. And along the square are bars and restaurants, and one of them is called the Stubborn German. I think that fits because of our German heritage. And some people may think that I am stubborn, but it's a microbrewery, and they make incredible beers.
And they have a brown water society, so you would love it, Mark. Because
They have a brown water society that I'm actually a member of too, and they have a speakeasy in the basement.
brown water as in like bourbon whiskey, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
bourbon, correct.
Thank you for saying that. I said brown liquor once. Hey, I'm enjoying me some brown liquor this weekend. And you would have thought that I like punched this person's mom in the neck, the way they reacted to me saying brown liquor. So to hear you say brown water, I'm like, thank you. I thought like they were making fun of me for like, you know, being from Georgia.
Our bourbon club is called the Brown Water Society.
Stubborn Germans, brown water, and cider.
Hey, next time you're in town, we're
Eckert's cider.
taking you.
Yeah. We will take you the next time you come.
You know what?
It'll be
And
great.
as we're talking about risk, we will Uber it all over town because we're not going to take risk with Ricken Financial.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
You
true.
like that? All right, let's get to it here this weekend. 314-207-6211. RickenFinancial.com, RICKEN financial.com. Are your finances matching your risk? Talk to me this weekend. How is our risk affecting our portfolio?
At any stage in your life, you should really be aware of what risk you're actually taking with what you're invested in. And we've talked with a lot of prospects and clients lately who said, well, I'm in like a 60-40 split, so 60% stocks, 40%, you know, fixed income or cash, whatever, bonds, you know. what the brokerage world considers lower risk. And you can't see me right now, but I have, my fingers up in the air doing lower risk, because we all know if you're invested in the market at all, you're at risk of principal loss.
The air quotes are happening right now.
Yes, air quotes all around. But, a lot of people said, well, if you're in like a split like that, you're matching your risk. Well, you may or may not be. So at the end of the day, when you're invested in anything, but especially your 401ks, your TSP plans, your 457, your 403bs, whatever it is that those employer-sponsored plans where you're sticking money in them for the future, a lot of people just set it and forget it and have no idea what kind of risk they're actually exposing themselves to. And when you peel back the curtain and take a look at it, it's not just stocks and bonds. Well, what if your 60% of your portfolio that's in stock is invested in the exact same stock? What if it's all invested in technologies? If you're overweighted in any one thing, you could be exposing yourself to so much risk you're just not even aware of.
And people have a misconception that they cannot lose money in their 40%, their bond portfolio. But that's just not true. You can lose principal if you're in a stock or a bond, or stock mutual fund or a bond mutual fund. So people just don't understand that they are exposing themselves if they're invested completely in the financial markets.
Yeah. And, a lot of people just kind of set it and forget it when it comes to their retirement funds. You stick it in a target fund, say you're going to retire in 2030 or 5 years from retirement right now. Oh, my portfolio, that 401k, it's just in the Target 2030 fund. So it's pretty conservative. By the way, I'm using the voice of someone who's talking to me, not my own. So let's pretend I'm someone else saying, yeah, I've set it aside and it's in a Target fund for 2030. So I'm pretty good. I'm on the precipice of retirement and things are looking great. Let me ask you a question, Mark. If you're 5 years from retirement and your finances do not match your risk, do you think you have too much exposure?
If I'm 5 years from retirement and my finances do not match my risk, I feel like I would be too exposed. Yes.
Yeah. At that point in time, it is absolutely paramount that what you've saved for the future truly matches your risk tolerance and how much risk you're wanting your money to be at risk of for principal loss. Because the times that you don't match your risk tolerance, those are the times that you have to wait it out and hope that the market rebounds. And Dad and I were having this discussion earlier. And what happened, Dad?
As Americans, we seem to have a very, very short memory when it comes to the bad things in the financial markets, but a very, very vivid memory when it comes to gains and the gains of the 80s and how the whole mutual fund world exploded through the 80s and 90s. Then all of a sudden we got to 2001, 2, and the bubble burst on the tech bubble. And what happened? We lost a great deal of money in our 401ks and our IRAs and our investment portfolios. And then it started coming back. Then we had the financial crisis of 2007-8. And from 2001 till 2011, that's when the market finally came back. So we had a lost decade. Can you imagine if that would have happened at the first day of the year retired? All of a sudden, you're using money out of your portfolio. You thought you were safe because you were in a 60-40, a 70-30, or whatever it was, diversification, but you were all invested in stocks and bonds, and they both went down. And you were using money out of those portfolios. You have a very, very good risk of running out of money or deteriorating an asset that you wouldn't otherwise have had to happen had you really understood what risk you were taking.
Yeah, and if you're only a couple of years away from retirement, or you just retired, or you're 5 to 10 years into your retirement, and the market corrects, that's the point in time if you didn't have your plan in place, if you didn't plan for the unknowns, if you're not matching the amount of risk you're comfortable actually taking with your funds, that's the point in time that you do not have time to recover. It could completely devastate your retirement. And our hope is that every single person who enters these doors comes to talk to us and hopes to retire one day, gets to stay retired. We want to make sure you don't have to go back to work because you made a mistake of not matching your risk tolerance. And that's why it's so important. But for so many years, you do this kind of set it and forget it, and it happens in the background. And unless you're actively looking at this every single day or actively managing it or paying for a money manager to actively manage your portfolio, and we look at every single thing we're invested in, not just one account, most people, their investment portfolio does not match the risk they'd actually be comfortable taking. And if you're not aware of what your risk is, it's very simple for us to do an analysis for you, and we'd be happy to do so. If you've saved $500,000 or more for your financial future and you want a complimentary risk analysis, we want to kind of peel back the curtain, see exactly what you're invested in, what kind of risk you're exposed to. Please just give us a call at 314-207-6211 or head over to rickenfinancial.com and say, I want that risk analysis, because everyone deserves to know what kind of risk you're actually taking so that you can make informed decisions for the future.
You offer the purpose approach, Gerry, and that includes questions about your risk tolerance, too much, not enough in your portfolio. So kind of give me the 10,000-foot view of what exactly the purpose approach is from Ricken Financial.
The purpose approach is very, very simple. We want to know what your purpose is when you retire. You've had a purpose while you were working. What's going to feed your soul in retirement? Not only what you're going to do on a daily basis, but what is your purpose of all of your investments? What's your purpose in your income plan? We take a purposeful approach and look at everything to match your needs and wants so that we can help you live a life of purpose, not only financially, but emotionally, physically, and all the aspects that go into life. We want to make sure that we're designing it for your purpose approach.
Because our goal is that you get to retire with heart and live with joy, and we do the hard work in the background to make sure your finances are going to match the type of life that you would like. Because you've worked all of your years to set money aside for the future to retire, and you deserve to have that retirement that you want and to not have to worry about it, but have some plans in place that can cover all those what ifs.
We talk a lot about risk, and we hit on that a little bit in our first segment on matching your investing with your risk. And when we meet with people, we want to make sure that if you're a couple, you're both on the same page, because we want everyone
Spoiler
to understand.
Alert. No one is.
They never are. that is,
Every single person has a different risk tolerance.
Yes, they do. So we want to strike that happy balance. We want to be happy house, happy spouse.
Yep.
So we want to make sure that you're happy with what you and your spouse come up with for your risk. And we want to match that risk so that both of you can sleep at night and feel comfortable.
You don't need to go to marriage counseling if you have a different risk tolerance, FYI, because every single couple we ever meet with, none of them have the exact same risk tolerance. And it's our job to help you guys figure out, how do we balance the equation here? But if you don't know what kind of risk you're taking to get started, how are you even supposed to know what kind of the equation you're looking at when it comes to your risk? And, Gerry and I have been talking about this quite a bit lately, actually. We see so many people who think they're diversified. And if you've ever listened to our podcast before, shameless plug for Kickin with the Rickens. You can find it on any podcatcher. But if you've ever listened to our podcast before or caught us on social media, you've heard us talk about tax diversification, because we talk about that at length. We want to make sure that all of the different accounts that you have set aside for the future are diversified when it comes to your tax risk. But you also need to be globally diversified with your market risk as well. And we've seen people come through these doors who think they're globally diversified, and they hand a portfolio to us that has ownership from different accounts, different investments, ownership of different mutual funds and exchange traded funds. And, I'm diversified all over the place. Well, when we do a risk analysis on that, we see, what are each of these invested in? And we do what's called a stock intersection analysis to see of each of these funds that you own, what stocks are owned within the funds. We've found that some people own more than 60% of their portfolio in one stock, because each of those funds they're invested in can be invested in the same stock and intersecting each other, and they didn't even know that they are overweighted in one stock in their portfolio. So they think, hey, I'm in great shape. I'm nearing retirement. I'm 60 years old and I only have 60% in stocks. Well, if that's 60% in stocks, is 60% in one stock, you're at a huge amount of risk. So it's really important to do that analysis.
As you're talking about, you talk to people, we see these portfolios that are overweighted with one stock. Let me give you that number real quick, 314-207-6211. Again, 314-207-6211. Which we're talking about risk this weekend here on Kickin with Rickens, rickenfinancial.com. How can that cause damage to a portfolio if you're overweighted with just one stock?
Well, say if you're overweighted in one individual stock, when it's going up, things are great and your whole portfolio is going to look fantastic. What if the administration decides to change policy and it's a stock that's going to be affected by that? And what if
a catastrophe happens in that company?
Yeah,
exactly. What if it's a tech stock and there's a tech burst? There are so many what ifs when something inevitably will go wrong in that one individual company. Because look, if everyone was 100% invested in NVIDIA, we saw the run up, but it's also been a little volatile lately. So you can't be overweighted in one individual stock because that means you're putting so many of your eggs in one basket. And when things go up, that's great. But when they go down, it's going to hurt even harder on the way down.
And having grown up, collecting eggs as a kid, if you do put all those eggs in one basket and that basket drops, it isn't very much fun to go in and tell mom.
No, and it's going to stink. But at the end of the day, here's the other issue, Mark. If that stock is owned by so many of your funds, that each of the funds that you're invested in owns that stock, and that particular stock has a bad day, that means your entire portfolio has a bad day. And at what point in time do you decide which of your funds you're going to sell off?
Yeah.
What else you're going to invest in? Because something in that fund could be doing great, but if it's overweighted with one individual stock, you might have to throw out the baby with the bathwater to stop the bleeding. And we never want that to happen to someone. We want to make sure that you're fully diversified and you don't have too much stock intersection within the different funds that you're invested in, because the whole point of having different funds is to diversify the risk and spread it out amongst a bunch of different stocks. And if we're invested in the same thing, we're defeating the purpose.
Most people think that the bond market is really the only thing that provides safety, except maybe cash, CDs, those kinds of things. But there are also a lot of other investments that we can expose you to and educate you on that can help preserve your principal.
Bonds aren't your only option. They're a great option when they fit well. But like everything when it comes to investing, nothing is one size fits all. So there is not one portfolio out there that you set it and forget it and it's going to work forever and it's one size fits all and everyone can do it and it's going to meet all your needs. That doesn't exist, okay? When it comes to you and the type of risk you're comfortable taking, if you're only invested in stocks and bonds and you don't have anything else out there in your diversification, you may be a little overweighted if you're a little bit more on the conservative side when it comes to your risk. So what else is available out there for you? Well, you can preserve a little bit of that principal by utilizing an accumulation annuity. Annuities are not one size fits all. There are so many different types of annuities out there available in this world. The type I want to talk about right now is a fixed indexed annuity that provides accumulation potential. So there's no income coming off of it or anything like that. But basically, you can put some money in this annuity, and when the market goes up, the S&P 500 is the market we're talking about here, you get a portion of the upside. You don't get the whole thing. When the market goes down, you stay flat. So you take, that market downside off the table and you either stay flat or you can go up. And when it works really well. When it doesn't work in your portfolio because not everything's one size fits all, but it's a great alternative to the bonds.
So Heidi, one of the things that when people think about annuities, they think there are a lot of fees in there. How many fees are in these fixed index annuities that you're just talking about?
Some of them might have a fee in them, but the one I was just talking about has a fee of 0% in it. So you don't have 100% liquidity in it, so you can't touch the whole thing and grab it without having to pay surrender, kind of like taking an early withdrawal penalty in a CD. But if you can avoid fees, it might help preserve some of your principal for the future too.
Yeah, especially for the amount that you don't need liquidity on, and you can allow that to sit there for a while. It seems like that's a viable alternative for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's also some investment opportunities where you don't have to set it aside as many years as, the annuities kind of lend. And those are structured investments. And, you can invest with a bank not at the bank, but in a bank's portfolio, and take some of the risk off the table so that if the market goes up, yes, you get the upside in the market. If the market goes down, there are ways actually to make money on the downside of the market. So these things are kind of wild and crazy, and a lot of people don't even know what they are. If that's something you want to explore, it's more than just a couple-minute conversation on the radio here today. So we'd love to chat with you about it, because if the market's down 10%, you're going to make 10% in the end, and that sounds like something you want to talk about, we'd love to meet with you. Simply give us a call at 314-207-6211. Say, hey, I want to hear that structured thing. Tell me more about it. However you want.
It's a win-win.
It's
truly a
exactly.
win-win.
Or, what's that investment you were talking about where you can kind of make money on the downside or the upside of the market? We'd love to chat about that, share what the specifics are, because they change on a monthly basis too. So
it's all about education. It's folks, it's all about education. It's all about knowing what's available at your fingertips and exploring that and seeing if it's a good fit for you.
Yep. Again, that number is 314-207-6211 or online at rickenfinancial.com, RICKEN, rickenfinancial.com. Again, from the homepage, you can do the contact me, your name, an email address, the note to the team, the structured thing. They'll understand what you're talking about. They've been doing this.
I'll pick up what you're putting down.
They know exactly what you're looking for, and they'll reach out to you to begin and to continue this conversation with Heidi, Gerry, and the team at Ricken Financial.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Ricken Financial LLC. Ricken Financial LLC is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Ricken Financial LLC are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Ricken Financial LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Ricken Financial LLC.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA.
Tax preparation and tax advisory services are offered through Ricken Financial. These services are not offered by IPW and are not subject to investment advisor requirements. These services referenced are an outside business activity not offered through or supervised by IPW.